How to build a professional looking portfolio with the React 3 Fiber Part 1. Hi, welcome to this new tutorial. The final goal of the entire tutorial series is to create a great looking portfolio in the style of David Heckhoff one, but with the Wawa touch and also yours. The course is made of small actionable independent chapters, and in the final episode we will play Lego to assemble our portfolio. Today we will prepare your own avatar looking like you using Ready Player Me. The great news is that it requires no Blender skill and we will be able to animate it and follow our mouse cursor. Let's start by cloning the starter pack repository, so click here to copy it. Then in the terminal git clone, paste, and the path I want to put it in, so portfolio animation. Once it's done, I open it. To check that it's working, run yarn and yarn dev. We have this cube we can rotate around, so it means it works. But we won't code for now. Let's go to readyplayer.me, enter hub or create your account if you don't have one. I deleted my avatar to be at the same stage than you. Choose your body type, I select masculine. Then you can take a photo or pick a file. I will use my profile picture. Accept. And it's loading an avatar with my face. I think it looks like me, okay, but you can customize it to whatever you want because it's your portfolio. It's best that it looks like you or what you want to look like. I won't spend too much time editing it, but really have fun, do whatever you want. Let's select a cool haircut, the clothes, because we won't be able to change it by ourselves, so select them in here. But still you can change them later whenever you want. Okay, so I took something simple, but do whatever you want and hit enter hub. So now your avatar is created. You can use it in different metaverse. This is what Ready Player Me does. But the good thing it provides is this button here. It's written for developers. It's what we are, so it's perfect. And download avatar as a GLB file. So from that, we will load it into our three.js scene. Once you've downloaded it, go to public, create a new folder, name it models, and drag and drop inside it the model. Okay, so now let's run npx gltf jsx on the model. What it did is it took the 3D model file and generated a React component with it that we can play with. Let's copy everything from this file, go to components, create a new file, name it avatar.jsx, paste it, and we'll do some correction to it. So the function name, we want it to be avatar. The path, because we put it in models, we need to add models, and also on the preload. Now go to the experience, and let's try to add our avatar component. Okay, so we can see it. It's full black and with a bad position, or our camera is wrongly placed, but we will fix it. So for now, we can remove this mesh. We'll add an ambient light with an intensity of 1, so it shouldn't be black anymore. And we can go to the app and let's change the position to 0, 2, and 5. It's better, but let's decrease the position. Let's go to experience, wrap the avatar in a group. We'll wrap our scene later. Position on the y-axis, -1. And okay, that should be fine for now. Let's have a look at how to animate it. To animate it, we will use the free animation library Mixamo, so either sign up or log in. You can see there is my previous character, but let's upload a new one. And here it only takes FBX, OBJ, or zip. So we can't upload our GLB. But with Blender, it's very easy to convert it to FBX. So open Blender, hit A to select everything, and hit delete. Then import and GLB. Then look for your model and import it. You can see it there. You can see material preview to be able to see it with the cloth. We really only load it to export it to FBX. So go, export, and FBX. Export it wherever you want, name it like you want. The settings, I show you mine, but I didn't have to do anything, and I think it will work out of the box. So export FBX, Now let's get back to Mixamo and import it. Models character. Okay, it's uploading. You can see it automatically riggered and is able to play an animation. There isn't the texture, but don't worry, we will keep our existing model. We just use it to be able to download Mixamo Animation and that it will be scaled the good way for our model. So now I know you, I know people using Mixamo for the first time. I'm not the only one. You will want to play with all the animation and have a lot of fun at watching it. But once you're done with it, we will start by a typing animation because on David Heckhoff website, it's what the avatar is doing. So I will select the first one. Here we can see that the character is typing. There are some parameters. So if you want it to be faster or slower, you can adjust it. I will keep it at 50. I was good with it. You can change the arm space. So if you have modeled a desk, maybe it's better to put it at the correct position. And trim is for long animations. Maybe you don't want the whole one, but just a small portion of it, so you can play with it. But we won't change it and hit download. Here we can select the format, FBX, we will keep it. And here it's skin. We don't want the skin because it's the mesh and all the information, but we already have it. We only want the animation to animate our existing model. So download without skin. And keep the other with the default value and hit download. Once you have downloaded the animation, create a new folder in public, name it animations, and drag and drop your file inside. Now we will be able to play with it. So let's go to our avatar here, and below we will have our animation. We can name it typing animation. Is equal to use FBX because we have a FBX format, and we write the path of our animation. So it's in animations and it's named typing.fbx. Let's log it just to see if it's loading correctly. But I need to log typing animation because I renamed it and write .log. So in the console, we see an array. So it's animations, and that's why it's in the plural form, with a first clip named mixamo.com. But we don't want to have all our animations named like this, so we will rename it. So typing animation, the first one .name, and you name it the way you want. It's just your convention for you. Once we have our animation, we need to create actions to be able to play it. So actions is equal to use animations. What it takes is an array of animation clip. So we will use typing animation for now. And the second parameter is the group on which it will perform the animation. So we don't have it yet. Let's create a ref for it. Ref equal to group. And let's create it. Const group is equal to use ref. And group. Now let's play our action with use effect. We won't put any parameter just by default. So what we will do is we will take our actions. We'll take the one named typing. We will reset it. And then we will play it. Okay, so it seems it works, but we have a rotation issue. I didn't have this issue when I did my test, so maybe you can export it in Blender and fix the rotation. But what I will do is wrap everything into a group. And rotate it, so it will be a quick fix. So maybe it will be on this one. And rotation x equal minus mat.py on 2. And here we have our character typing. If you look at David's portfolio, sometimes it rotates just the head on the left screen, so we'll try to achieve the same. Let's have a look at Blender, a bit at our skeleton. So here we have it. We can open the pose mode, go to armature, viewport display, hit in front so you always see the skeleton. Here you can look at what bone you want to rotate. So it can be this one, maybe on the z-axis, if you want to rotate only the head, or maybe you want to rotate the neck with it. So once you know which one you want to rotate, go here to the bone and you have the name of the bone. So here it's neck. If you look at this one, it's spine 2. So this way you can know what bone is which one. Let's make it follow for now our camera. So with use frame, we'll do group.current.getObjectByName. And we want it to rotate the neck, so the bone is neck. Dot. We'll try to look at the state.camera.position. So it always look at us, and use frame need to also have the state. If you look at it, you can see there's a small gap between the camera position and us. So let's try to rotate only the head for demonstration purpose. And now you have that scary version of me always looking at you, whatever you do. Let's make it conditional. To do so, we will use the Leva library. Once it's installed, you can run it again, hide it, and let's create control. So let's name it head follow equal use controls from Leva. Head follow will be a boolean and it will be false by default. So now we have head follow, and we will only do it if head follow is true. So now we have this pop-up box of Leva on the top right. So Wawa is working and you enter in the room. It's looking at you. Scary, no? Let's do another option, because now we know how to rotate the head, but maybe let's try to rotate toward the cursor position. So instead of head follow, let's declare cursor follow, false by default, cursor follow, and if cursor follow. Okay, so we'll create a vector. Let's name it target is equal to a new 3.vector3, and the position will be state.mouse.x. So it's the mouse position. You can get it from use frame state. State.mouse.y and the z position. So I want it to be in front of our character. It's looking at us, so it's 1. And now we just look at our target. Let's say we don't want to rotate the head, but the whole spine, because we want the arm to move with it. So now the head still can follow you, or you can say follow the cursor position. So just reload and do it again. So it's based on the X and Y position. So it follows nicely my cursor position. Time to add other animation. Let's look at standing idle. Select the one that you want, but try to not take too long animation because the weight of the animation will be heavy. This one is 180 frames, so it's kind of nice. I download it. And I will also look at the falling animation. So here, same principle, do whatever you want. I like this one, so I will download this one, and it's only 21 frames. Download, keep without skin, and download. Why do we take the falling animation? Look, when I scroll, we can see it fall, and then it go into an idle stance. So we'll try to replicate it in the future of the tutorial. Now go to your animations and drag and drop it. Once it's good, we will just load the other animations. So we have here typing animation. We will load the two others. We'll have standing animation and falling animation. Let's have a look at the name. We have falling idle and standing idle. It's the opposites. So let's fix it. Here we need also to rename it because I know it's Mixamo. So for standing animation, I can put whatever I want. I would just name it standing. And for falling animation, I will just name it falling. Now let's add some control to decide the animation we play. Maybe we will add the control to the experience. So here we'll say animation is equal to use controls. As we want a drop-down, we need a value. So the first one will be typing. And the different options we have, it's an array of string. We have typing, we have falling, and standing. Okay, and now to our avatar we will pass. And now to our avatar we will pass the animation. So animation equal animation. Now in our avatar we'll get the animation from the props. So let's name it animation, destructurate it from props. And instead of playing typing manually, we will play the animation. But we have an issue because it doesn't know the undefined animation. So why is it so experience? Okay, so here it should be animation, an object containing a value and options. Now our avatar is typing. And when we change it, it doesn't work. Let's have a look at why. What we want is to call useEffect when animation change. So set animation here. And also return a function to cancel the previous animation. So here what we will do is to stop the previous animation. What happens now when I change it? It crashed. I guess it's because in the actions, when I created it, I only used typing animation. So what I will need is to create a new array containing my typing animation. I know it's an array and it's the first item. So typing animation, standing animation, and falling animation. Now it will contain all our animations. Now let's have a look. Typing, falling, but the change is quite abrupt, and standing. So let's fade our animation to make smooth transitions. For this, it's quite simple. We just need to make fade in. You select the duration you want. You can make it based on what animation you have. And fade out. If you use fade out, you don't need to stop it. So it's typing, falling, and then standing. So it's smoother. Maybe we can fine-tune the parameter later when we will do the final assembling part. As we are still on our avatar chapter, you might be wondering how to create this wireframe effect. It's quite simple. We will use one solution. There are other solutions available, but let's look at an easy one. We can add another control. Let's name it wireframe. By default, it will be false. And another useEffect. If wireframe change, we will apply the wireframe effect on our materials. On the materials, dot for each, we'll have each material. But materials is not an array, it's an object. So we will need to do object.values to be able to iterate over it. And on each material, we'll set wireframe is equal to wireframe because it's our boolean. And if you have a look at the documentation from three.js, you can go on mesh standard material, which is the most used one on this model. Look for wireframe and you see it renders geometry as wireframe. So it's exactly what we are looking for. Now on our model, at any time, we can switch wireframe or not. So when it's falling, it will be like this. When it's standing, so let's say you want to create that same effect, you can apply wireframe and it will look like the same. You can see it keeps the colors. If you don't want that effect, you will need to use another solution. You can Google for it. It's kind of easy. Even if it's just a chapter, I want it to look decent, so I will polish a bit the scene. Under orbit control in the experience, we can add sky to have a nice background out of the box. We can change the light to use environment. We'll use the sunset preset. So we won't require the ambient light anymore. So here is what it looks like so far. Let's add a floor and a chair so it doesn't stand on nothing. For the ground, let's use a mesh with a plain geometry. Let's make it white. So mesh standard material, color equal to white. Let's receive the shadow. Let's scale it to 5 and rotate on the x-axis to minus mat.pi multiply by half. For the chair, we will create another mesh. By the way, we don't need receive shadow, we'll use another component. We need a box geometry and also a mesh standard material of a white color. Let's see how to scale it. 0.8, 0.5 and 0.8. Okay, so far we have it, so we need to adjust the positions. First, we need it to be in the group, and the chair should be upper, so I guess it's 0.25. And now it's way better. Let's look at folding. It's in the chair, so we disable the chair when we change the animation. So let's wrap it inside animation equal typing, and we render that chair. Of course, we could add animation, but it's not today's topic. So now it's on the chair, but if it's falling, we don't have a chair anymore. Okay, looks better. Yes, we are on the floor. Let's add some shadows to have more depth. If you know me, you know my favorite component for shadows. So go to Drei repository, look for contact shadows. Copy this one so you have all the parameters out of the box, and you just have to fine tune it. Add it here, should be nice. Okay, so there's a conflict with the plane, we'll fix it. Okay, looks too harsh too, so let's fix those two problems. The first one, it's too harsh. We can reduce the opacity, and the position of the plane, we can just set it just a little bit below. So position Y to minus 0.001, just to avoid conflict. And now we have that smooth shadow. When it's falling, it's more visible. We can see it's moving, but it's smooth and it's nice. Let's check when it's standing. Now we really have that feeling that it is on the floor. So it looks pretty nice. Thank you for watching, I hope you enjoyed this video. If it's the case, please hit the like button as it really helps this channel be more visible to other fellow developers. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to be notified when new videos are released. And to continue learning React Fiber, you can jump to the next video available here.